Hi honeys, my name is Michelle Eskelin, and today I'm here to talk to you about my vagina. Well, and your vagina, and her vagina. Before you get too excited though, what I'm here to actually talk about is how to take care of your vagina, how to have a nice healthy vagina, and good vaginal hygiene. Before we get into the information, I thought it would be fun to get into some of the different nicknames for the vagina, not just now, but over history. So we have some Shakespearean nicknames for the vagina. The first one would be a house, which is a place that you house or store your penis. And a coffer, which is a place that you may hold your valuables or your family jewels. Get it? In the 1300s, the vagina was called belle chose, which is French for pretty thing. I like that one a little more. In the 1500s, the altar of Venus, Netherlands, placket lace. In the 1600s, vaginas were called phoenix nest, nature's treasury, contrapunctum, privy council. Okay. Aphrodisiacal tennis court. Nicknames from the 1700s include Ladies Low Toupee, Mount Pleasant, Petticoat Lane, Venerable Monosyllable. From the 1800s, nicknames include Fancy Article, Mrs. Phubbs's Parlor, Antipodes, Thatched Cottage, Cyprian Fountain. In the 1900s, Road to Christening. Kind of cute, I guess. Sexy and erotic slang / terms for the vagina include pink pearl, mount for her arousal, canal, flower, nub, slit, between her legs, her core, groin, her center, pool of moisture, junction of her thighs, apex, her essence, heart of her femininity, yoni, what? Triangular patch, fragrant curls, scabbard, what? And last but not least, the raunchy / funny nicknames for the vagina. Beaver, cooter, fishlip, taco, camel toe, muff, grod, love button, vajayjay, JJ, cocksock, cock pocket, cum dumpster, deep socket, sperm bottle, goop shoot, Vagino, poontang, cookie, poonanny. I realized that not everybody had the kind of mom that I did. That's actually why I'm doing this video. I want to give girls and women a chance to get all those lessons that maybe they didn't get. Either they didn't have a mom or they didn't have a mom who was comfortable talking about these things. I'm here to discuss vaginal hygiene and how to care for your vagina. I want to make sure that you guys have someone to turn to if you have any questions. For the remainder of this video, I'm going to refer to my vagina as Judy. I just think it's a cute name. It's nice and short. It's easy to say instead of having to continually say my vagina, my vagina, my vagina. I'm just going to say Judy. It's easier. And instead of saying my gynecologist, I'm just going to say my doctor. Make it a little shorter. As far as cleaning Judy goes, my doctor told me to use this. This is the Dove Sensitive Skin Beauty Bar. It has no scent or no fragrance. I've placed this anatomical drawing of a vagina here so that you can see the different parts that I might be mentioning in this video. I'm not going to show you Judy today. I mean, I know, well, I guess I'm getting a little bit prude now that I'm getting a little bit older. And I really only want Brad to see Judy. So let's just pretend for a minute that this is Judy. When I wash her, I use that soap and I just wash the lips, outside of the lips where, you know, the lips touch, or where your leg connects to the outside of the lips out here, and then just up here. Make sure you get really good and in the hood and the folds up here and on the outside of the inner labia. But the important part is to not get soap inside your vagina. The only thing that you can really put in there is water. If you feel like your pH balance is a little bit off because it's the end of the month, or maybe you had a wild night last night or whatever, you can use this. I have this upside down because it's almost out, and if you see here, there's water accumulating in the bottom of it, and I just noticed it when I went to grab it out of the shower. Note to self, don't ever flip it upside down because you will end up with this, and I'm sure it's gone bad by now, so I'm just going to have to toss it. But this is Vagisil Daily Intimate Wash pH Balance. And this is what my doctor said to use when I feel like I need a little extra cleaning. Now here's the thing. According to my doctor, she says do not put anything else up inside of your vagina. She said that douches aren't allowed, sprays, powders, anything. She says that doing any of that creates more of a problem and more of an odor. And I'll be honest, when I first moved down to Florida, I felt disgusting with the humidity, and so I started douching for the first time in my life. And I kept getting yeast infections, and I even got a bacterial infection. And at the time, I wasn't sexually active, so how did that happen, right? My doctor ended up explaining that when you use a douche, it kills the bacteria in there, which sounds great. But like every other part of our body, we have good bacteria also. And when you kill the good bacteria, what happens? You end up with a yeast infection or a bacterial infection. And that's not fun. So she said, don't ever, 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 under any circumstances, use a douche. So I stopped using them, and I have not had a bacterial infection or a yeast infection since. And that was years ago. Years ago. I mean, 10 years ago. So she was right that if I stopped doing that, they would go away. Okay, as far as the cleanliness part goes, I wash Judy in the shower, of course, and usually one or two other times throughout the day. And I just use a washcloth. Now, when I'm not in the shower, I get the washcloth warm, and I have this soap here that I use that's very mild. It smells like roses. This is Love Beauty and Planet Murmuru Butter and Rose. So I just put a little bit of this on a washcloth that's warm, and I just use that to clean my lips and all that. And that works quite well. I like to do that usually before I go to bed at night, or if I've been out and about and I'm really sweaty and gross, I'll do that. Now the other thing is, it's very important to keep your vagina dry, which sounds kind of funny, but she's going to get wet a lot regardless. So what I do with Judy, this is doctor approved, when I get out of the shower, I lay down on the bed, spread my legs. I know, but somebody's got to talk about this, right? I get my favorite fan and I just dry her off. Then I put my underwear on. And just drying her off completely before I put my underwear on really helps with bacteria and odor growing in my panties all day. Now, if I go out and I get all sweaty and gross when I come home, that's when I do this. Make sure she's good and dry, and then I just put a fresh pair of panties on. There are days where I go through 3 pairs of underwear because it's just gross. I mean, once you start sweating like that, bacteria starts growing. Another thing you can do if you're not at home and you don't really have the ability to do that, you can bring the wipes that they have, the individually wrapped wipes with you, and you can use panty liners and just change them. It's not as good as putting on a fresh pair of panties, but it's as close as you're going to be able to get when you're not at home. So that's another option. I wanted to mention though, as far as this whole douche or cleaning up inside, that's something my doctor has said many times, and I'm sure you've heard it before, but your vagina is a self-cleaning oven. And I know a lot of us are worried about odors and everything, but quite frankly, it is what it is. You're supposed to have scent down there. Just get used to what it is, and if it smells funny or off, then obviously you might want to go to the doctor. But these are pheromones coming out of our body. This is human nature. It is what it is. And unfortunately, in trying to get the aroma that naturally comes out of you to go away, we end up creating more of a stinky problem, more of a mess. Don't want to do that. Now, if you are getting to where, for whatever reason, you just feel a little funny, or maybe you just want to do this all the time to keep your vagina happy and your pH balance good, I do have a few things that I use for Judy. I like to drink this probiotic. It's the Greek Gods Kefir low-fat cultured milk. And I really like the honey and strawberry flavored one. And it's high in protein and vitamins A and D. But this is a really good way to get some good bacteria back in your body. Another thing I do, now this I tend to do, if you've been watching my videos, you might know that I have adenomyosis, and that means that I end up sometimes having more than one period in a month, or I've had times where I bled for 8 weeks straight. It can get really intense. When that finally ends, it kind of throws off my pH balance to be bleeding for that long. And when that ends, what I like to do is drink aloe vera juice. That really helps. So I just put, if you take a shot glass and you fill it up with this and put it in a glass, like a juice glass, and then you can fill it up the rest of the way with whatever juice you like to drink. That's what I do. And I just do it once or twice a day until I feel better. My favorite juice to put in there is this. This is the Northland Cranberry Raspberry juice. This is what I put my aloe vera juice in. It tastes really good. This particular, this brand is good in general. Now this particular flavor, the cranberry raspberry, it kind of tastes like sour gummy bears. So if you don't like sour stuff, don't get this. Just get regular cranberry, or they have I think it's cranberry blueberry. They have one cranberry grape, and then they have a acai. They have all kinds of different ones, but this is my favorite. The next thing I want to talk to you about is shaving. I don't completely shave Judy bald anymore. If you're a fan of Brazilian waxes, you might want to rethink it. My doctor said that you need to have a little bit of hair on your lips to protect your vagina. It's there for a reason. And if you shave your lips, there's membranes there that you need, and I don't know what happened, if you remove them or hurt them or what, but when you shave, that's kind of an issue too. So I will tell you what I do. In this bag here, this is an old Ipsy bag. I've got a razor. This is a little beard razor, just a Wall brand one. So, it's got batteries in it. Just want to make sure to keep it oiled. If I am shaving the pelvic bone area or the bikini line area, I just use it straight like this. And then when I shave my lips, I put this cover on there. That way it can trim the hair, but it's not all the way gone. And I found that it does work quite well. Now, according to my doctor, this is her words, not mine. She said that if you shave all the hair off of your lips, you will have more of an odor problem. She says that one of the odd things about having a little bit of pubic hair is that it does help keep bad odor away. I don't know why that is. I'm just telling you what she said. Maybe it's because if you take the hair away and you clean it too much, maybe vaginas get pissed off about it. I don't know. But I just found Judy's a lot happier now that I still leave a little bit of hair on there. She likes that more. When I shave, if I start to feel sensitive or I start to get razor burn or anything, I just use aloe vera gel. I use the kind that doesn't have any alcohol or coloring in it or anything. And I find that works really well. You can just massage it right into the areas that you just shaved, and that works fine. Okay, I have a few other tips I want to mention. Make sure that when you wipe, you always wipe from front to back, and make sure that after you have sex that you always go pee afterwards, because bacteria tends to get pushed up into your urethra when you're having sex, and if you don't go pee, you could get a bladder infection. So make sure you do that. Make sure that you don't wear panties to bed. That's a really important one. It gives her a chance to breathe and air out a little bit. Another really important thing with keeping your vagina happy is to take good care of your Kegel muscles. Make sure that so Kegels are the muscles inside your vagina. They're very important, actually. It's not just, so women that have good, strong Kegel muscles tend to have an easier time achieving orgasms. But the other benefit is urinary incontinence. According to my doctor, if you let your Kegel muscles go, you are more likely to have urine dripping out of your urethra throughout the day, or maybe even start peeing a little bit when you sneeze, and that's kind of natural as we age or after women have had children. But she said the number one best way to fight it is Kegel muscles. I don't know, I'm not making it up. That's what she said. What I do is I try to sit down and tighten my Kegel muscles for as long as I can. So maybe I'll start out with a count of 2, and then I'll do a count of 4 and 8 and so on. And then another thing that I will do is sometimes when a song is playing, I'll try to tighten my Kegel muscles to the beat of the song. And I find those two things work quite well. And if I forget, I notice. So it's definitely important to do. Another important thing about your vagina, make sure that you take her out and give her a spin every now and again. You gotta play with her to keep her happy. You can't ignore her. She needs nourishment too. When I was a little girl, I thought it would be so neat to be a nun one day. And it turns out, no, that would not be a good idea. I need orgasms regularly. Whether it's with another person or by yourself, make sure that you're taking good care of your vagina by having orgasms on a regular basis. There are so many benefits to orgasms. I'm going to list a few. It improves circulation to your organs, which helps your body grow more healthy tissues. According to what I've been reading online, studies show that women that have at least 1 orgasm a week are more mentally active. Orgasms help one's natural detoxification process. I'm sorry, I'm reading my laptop down below. So, to improve digestion and mood and help prevent cancer. Orgasms promote healthy estrogen levels to keep vaginal tissues supple and protect against osteoporosis and heart disease. Orgasms induce deep relaxation by boosting endorphin levels and flushing cortisol out of the body. Orgasms improve brain function, balance the immune system, and help maintain and repair tissue. Orgasms also help promote healthy skin. There's your answer for anybody who wants to know why my skin looks like this. Studies show having orgasms 3 times a week in a stress-free relationship can make one look 10 years younger. 10 years? Brad, orgasms cure migraines and help treat other types of pain by elevating pain thresholds. It's also a bonus when preparing for childbirth. Actually, I have a friend who could verify that. Orgasms increase levels of the hormone oxytocin, which is linked to passion, intuition, and social skills, the hormones of bonding and success. And day to day, orgasms help build stamina and burn calories. All right, so what happens if you're not having orgasms? What would have happened to me if I did become a nun? Studies show that single women or divorcees suffer from anger, loneliness, frustration, and depression due to their lack of orgasm. Women that don't have orgasms on a regular basis can be suffering from adrenal exhaustion, which can lead to insomnia, increased pain, lack of brain stimulation, looking older, and lower confidence. So what I'm saying is, if you're not in a relationship, you need to be masturbating or having sex with somebody on a regular basis. And if you are in a relationship, you need to be having sex on a regular basis. This is an important part of life. It's just as important as eating healthy, drinking water, going to the gym. It's very important. Speaking of drinking water, it's very, very, very important to drink a lot of water. That's a huge part of what helps keep our juices flowing in our vaginas. So if you are suffering from a dry vagina, try to drink a lot of water. It might help. If not, go get some KY jelly or something, right? Which leads to the next thing I wanted to talk about, the best and worst foods for your vagina and for Judy. As I mentioned before, yogurt. Now they say plain yogurt. I'm sorry, I like to break the rules. I like this one. And I like to drink it instead of eat it. But just plain yogurt, especially Greek yogurt, is really vagina friendly. It helps the good bacteria in your vagina grow, which helps fight the bad bacteria. In turn, you don't end up with as many yeast infections or bacterial infections. It keeps your pH balance in your vagina where it needs to be. What else does it say here? I'm still looking at my computer down here. I'm trying to go as paper-free as possible in life, which means instead of printing things out or writing them down, I'm always looking at my screen because I would rather do that than waste more paper. Sauerkraut, kefir, kimchi, all good for your vagina. Concentrated cranberry juice. Boom. Water, ginger tea, soy. Some experts suggest that the plant estrogen can have a similar effect as the estrogen a woman naturally produces, alleviating vaginal dryness caused by hormonal changes. Really? Well, so if you are suffering from vaginal dryness, you might want to try drinking soy milk, or I've been eating these and I really like them. It says to avoid sweets. Yes, a little dark chocolate can alleviate the frustration of PMS, but in general, excess sugar is not vagina friendly because it messes up the pH balance of your vagina. I have a little trick that I can verify does work. If you don't like the way you taste, or you think you don't taste good and you feel insecure about it, and maybe you're with someone who likes to taste you, what I recommend is drinking pineapple juice. It does sweeten everything down there. I heard this little trick from someone years ago. I tried it and it worked. Now, granted, I don't use it very often, but if I'm just feeling insecure for some reason, little pineapple juice goes a long way. Just got to drink a little bit of it. Okay, and then I have a few fun facts I found on health.com about vaginas. The head of the clitoris has 50 times the concentration of nerve endings as does the head of a penis. So if you are having a hard time achieving orgasms, you might want to start there. Pubic hair can boost your sexual pleasure. Hair around the vagina helps to heighten our sexual sensitivity. If your partner strokes you lightly over your pubic hair, the bending of the hairs will send a signal to the follicles, which will pass the message on to your nervous system. Actually, I have found that to be true. If you were to break it down and add it all together, the average woman has her period for 6.5 years straight. 60 days of bleeding every year. Whew. Having an orgasm might kickstart your period. Or, according to my friend, it might kickstart childbirth. She was having a heck of a time, and they were talking about how they were probably going to have to induce labor, and she told me that that was how she finally got to kickstart going into labor, was having sex, hence having an orgasm. Working out before sex can make an orgasm more likely. I guess I could see that. Get your blood flowing. Is there anything that you would like to say about vaginas, Bradley?
They feel good.
They feel good. Okay, well, that's all that I have to say today about Judy. If you have any questions about your vagina or Judy or her vagina, let me know. I'd be happy to do another video. If you have any other questions for me, just let me know. You can leave them down below in the comments, or if you don't want to publicly ask questions that you have, down below in the description box, I have my Twitter handle. Feel free to go on there and send me a direct message. I'd be happy to answer any questions that you guys have. You are now free to remove your seatbelts and roam around the cabin. Thanks for watching.